Good morning. I'm Mary Winters, the host of Visionary Aging, which you are watching now. And I'm also the owner of About Senior Solutions and a gerontologist. What is that? That is the study of aging. And we have a geriatric care management company, which helps to plan and support people in urgent crises, as far as coming from the hospital to home, or maybe should somebody be home without some extra support. So we're here to help support you, but we're also here to have the show to support you with resources beyond what I do. And today we have a great program. We have a fabulous caregiver question for Steve McCullough, something I think somebody's going on a vacation, so they need some help about how to support their mom. And also we have Linda Polwrek on today, and she specializes in working with women who are in transition, which I think is really fascinating and wonderful. She's a financial planner, a CFP. So let me go ahead and see if we can get Steve on here. Good morning, Steve. I have to unmute you. There you go. Morning. How are you?
Good morning. Are you off site?
I am
today?
off site. Yes. So I have a meeting in Murrieta today all day, and so we picked up the show and we moved over to the outside. So maybe you might hear a little traffic behind us, but we're sitting in a wonderful spot out in nature and enjoying the fresh air today.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. On our caregiver question, we someone write in. They are going away for a weekend for a wedding out of state, and mom will be at home, and they want to know what kind of services are available for them to check up on their mom.
Well, I mean, obviously, if she can't be left alone, then you need to have somebody with her. You need for her to go somewhere. So there are a variety of things. And you can call our office too, and we can walk through it. Ginny is fantastic. She will more than likely, she or Teresa will be the one answering the phone, and she can provide you with some direct resources. And that's 626-359-0108. But there are home care agencies who you could get to come in. You want to do this in advance, so hopefully this isn't happening next week. But set it up with a qualified home care agency to come in and provide 24-hour care for your mom, and they can provide that in 2 or 3 shifts. Or if you would like to put her into an assisted living setting, you can talk to an assisted living. The same process is the same as if you were to move into, so you need the doctor's letters and reports and that sort of thing. So it's a little more time consuming to do, but either one will work. Sometimes people who might be on hospice, they may place them into temporary setting, like skilled nursing for a temporary time, and provide you with that extra little support. So those are a few little options that you could take advantage of if you are taking off and you're the primary caregiver for your loved one.
How much time in advance do you recommend? Are we talking like a couple of weeks, or?
I would say at least a couple of weeks if you're doing the home care route, just so that they get to know you. They have somebody set up for you for the care. And if you were to move, to temporarily it's called a respite stay. If you were to do a respite stay in a community, I would say give yourself at least a month, because you've got to get that paperwork done for the doctor. A TB test is actually required, or a chest x-ray, and just find out what their rules are right now. Everything's changing and a little bit wacky with COVID, but I would definitely give yourself some good leeway. That's a great question.
You froze on me.
Uh-oh.
You hear me?
I can hear you, Steve. Yeah. So, yeah. And then guess who we have on next? We have Linda Polwrek. She's a financial planner. And I love her focus. She works with women in
Excellent. I'm
transition.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. So we can go ahead and actually, I should just bring her on. Let me see if I can find her here. And I'll talk with you at the end of the show. How's that?
Cynthia, sounds good. Have a great show.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep the questions coming.
Okay. Hey, Linda, how are you this morning?
Hey, Mary, I'm great. Nice to be here with you.
Oh, absolutely. So I love the idea that you work with women in transition. And what does women in transition mean?
Yes, I do specialize in helping women who are in transition from usually a divorce or death of a spouse, or someone perhaps who's received an inheritance of a sum of money that's larger than what they're used to managing. And it's an overwhelming time. You're grieving of sorts, whether it's a divorce or death of a spouse. And it's not the ideal time to be learning about finances. So I think it takes a patient and calm manner to walk someone through those early stages of the things that they need to do.
And that is in your personality. You're a very calm and nice leader of your ship, so to speak, the captain. And so, thank you for coming on. What are some of the things that are most important, or the approaches when you work with women in transition?
Well, there's a lot to do. And depending upon how familiar, say, a woman is, or it could be the husband as well, if the wife was the one who was managing the household and the finances, it
Sure.
could work either way. But because I'm a female, I do have a soft spot for the women who find themselves in this situation. There's a lot to do. And I tell them that there are things that you need to do now, get the death certificate, contact Social Security and such, things you need to do soon, and things we can wait until later to deal with. Those big major decisions, whether they should sell the home or move, those sorts of things. So it's just a process that we walk through. And my joy is educating these women. They often know more than they realize they do. But I want to empower them so they understand what they have, why they have it, where they are financially, where they want to go, and give them some reassurance, hopefully, that they're ideally going to have enough money to last the rest of their lifetime. That's ideally the goal, or to accomplish those other goals if they have young children.
Mm. Share maybe some of the younger women that you've worked with in those situations, and a little bit about how you've kind of gotten through transitions with them.
I'm working with a woman now. Her husband, she was in her late 40s when her husband passed away. Son was 12 years old. The average age of a widow is 52. So we think of widows as being older in their 70s or whatever, but it is younger. And she's caring for her son, her young son. She's helping him with the grieving process, and she's also caring for her mom, who
Oh,
she's
wow.
helping to support. So she's got a full plate, and she works full time. And so it's luckily in her situation, there was an insurance policy so that the she's not in a very tight financial situation. That's not the case for everyone. So, through the process of financial planning, I can help her to see how much budgeting, how much money is coming in right now, how much is going out, how do we make this last, and help her with all the other things that generally go along with financial planning. Her protection issues, what kind of life insurance might she have, given that she has a young son? Does she have long-term care insurance? She understands the need for that now, having gone through an episode with her young husband. And life insurance, auto, home care, all those things, as well as her investments, whether she needs an annuity or not to tide her over, thinking about Social Security and how that's going to affect her. And taxes are a huge issue right now. So this is not something we're going to be dealing with in the first few months, but as we establish investments, I'm keeping that in mind for them, that there are tax implications of everything that we do.
Oh, absolutely. Question is, Someone who is a beneficiary of a life insurance policy, is that taxed?
That is tax-free. Tremendous benefit for somebody. Yes, tax-free money.
I know when my children were younger, I made sure that I had a life insurance policy for myself because I felt like even though we had family, if something happened to me, they may need more support, a nanny or something that way. What are some of the things before things happen that you suggest to people to plan? So just like with your client, she did have that life insurance policy. What kinds of things do you think are really important to start with in your plan?
Yeah, life insurance is a big one, but making sure you are registering all of your assets properly. If you have a trust, you should be putting your investments in the name of the trust. That is the preferable way. Making sure you have beneficiaries and contingent beneficiaries on all of your accounts.
Share what a contingent beneficiary is.
Well, if you're a married couple and you don't have a trust, say you're very young, you haven't established a home or a large estate yet, if I have a bank account in my name, I name my husband as the beneficiary. What would happen if my husband and I, say we're in a car accident together, something happened to both of us? What happens to those funds? That's the secondary or contingent beneficiary, and it's very important to name someone.
Where does it go if nobody names anyone? If
Well,
there's
now
no
yeah, now you're in a court
little,
situation.
okay, all
It gets
right,
tricky. Yeah.
right, right. Have you ever had to manage a situation where possibly there was no power of attorney for your client and somebody had a stroke or was not able to speak on their behalf? Were you ever required to go into a conservatorship into probate court, or are you familiar with those
I'm
types of
familiar
situations?
with it, and very fortunately, I have not found myself in that situation. I
Because
have
you have your
found
legal plan.
that's what we're aiming for. I have found I did have a client who was a previous advisor's client, and I inherited her when he retired. She had named one beneficiary on her account. There was no identifying information about this person. It was
Mm,
literally Mary Jane, and no phone number, no address, no
wow.
contact information. And I found myself opening up the what we used to call phone book, going online, looking for this name and hoping that there weren't too many of those people. And you can imagine how unusual that conversation was as I was trying to determine if they knew, Sally. Um, so it's so important to make sure you leave all that kind of information up to date,
Abs-
current.
Absolutely. So, what are the top three things that you like your clients to prioritize so that they're safe, their assets are safe, they're protected? What are those kind of three top things that you like to get in alignment immediately with your clients?
The first thing is liquidity. Do they have enough money in the bank to cover all their expenses, their immediate expenses,
Right.
especially should something happen in the market? So, the rule of thumb is usually 3 to 6 months worth of your living expenses, but depending upon your situation, like for a realtor or a mortgage broker whose income varies significantly from month to
True.
month, year to year, you might want 1 year's worth of expenses in money market funds or very short-term
Sure.
bond funds. And in retirement, you might even be looking at more cash flow. That will depend upon the individual's situation. So liquidity is the first thing. Looking at debt, is there any debt outstanding and how are we going to handle that? And the income stream. Is this person working now? Are they able to work? Will they need to go back to work in some situations to make ends meet? And just outlining for them that cash flow, money in, money out. Is there a surplus? Is there a deficit? And let's handle it. And long-term care, you mentioned protection, and I always think of long-term care for protection. For I would say for every family, they should be having a conversation in the family about what happens if mom is too frail to take care of herself. Who's
Sure.
going to be able to take care of her? Who comes to the rescue? Is there funds to take care of him or her? And would long-term care insurance make sense? In some cases it makes sense, and others it doesn't. So that's determined on a case-by-case basis, but every family should be looking at that.
Oh, I agree. And I know there are different kinds of products too. I would assume that just depends on the financial situation and their specific needs or interests as far as the type of long-term product too. Because I know
It
some
does.
things
Yeah,
come.
people have options now more than they did in the past. You can either pay as you go, as you do, say, for your homeowner's insurance. But now there are products that allow you to use them in one of three ways. If you need long-term care coverage, you can leverage that money to pay for expenses. If you never were in need of those funds and you pass away, your heirs receive the benefits of that. It could be an insurance policy or an annuity that it's based on. And many of these products have a return of premium. So if for whatever reason you change your mind or you need the funds, you can access a portion of those funds again.
That's
So
great.
very, very flexible for people.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Linda, we thank you so much for being on the program. Your information is just invaluable. Would you like to stay till the end and come
I sure
back at the
would.
very
Yeah.
end with us?
Yes, I enjoy watching your show normally. So thank you. It's been a pleasure being with you, Mary. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And on to our birthday for today. It is Sister Jean. Sister Jean is actually 103. Hold on. Sister Jean is 103. She is kind of the mascot for Loyola in Chicago, and they look to her for prayers and to support their men's basketball team there. I am going to step out and let Sister Jean be featured. She is incredible. She, of course, is a Catholic nun, and she says she just loves being with the students, just loves being at Loyola. And she had a special dedication of the plaza dedicated to her. She obviously feels that's very special. She says her secret to longevity is I eat well, I pray well, I hope I pray well, and I sleep well. And then I also understand that Sister Jean she loves sausage. She has sausage and a pastry every day for breakfast. Healthy food or not, that's what she likes. And at this age, what difference does it make? That's what some of the kids say. And you know what? If that gets you to 103, I say go for it. Thank you, Sister Jean. Happy birthday and many, many more. And next we have on our Melinda. With the Strength Shop, and let's see if we can find her today and bring her on in. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, and magically she appears. How are you? Oh, I've got you still muted. Maybe actually, if I unmute you, there you go. You
Can you
unmuted
hear me?
I can hear
Yay!
you now.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So tell us, what kind of insights do you have today? What kinds of...
I was going to talk a little bit about diets and when diets are appropriate and when they are not appropriate.
Yep. Okay.
Diet, when we think of the word diet, we usually think of, restricted, special kind of selection of food, either that we're following usually to lose weight or to be healthier or for like medical reasons. And so, the stipulation is that if somebody's following a diet prescribed by a doctor for a medical reason, or they've experienced some reaction when eating a certain food, that's kind of the correct relationship with a diet. You're listening to your body and you're taking care of your body because something is, really harmful to your body. But when we follow diets which restrict, certain foods just in order to lose weight, and we're kind of, I guess, for lack of a better word, guessing that those foods are bad or labeling those foods bad, that's not necessarily, efficient, effective, or, a valuable use of our focus when we think about what we're eating. Diets usually fail because people can't stick to them long term. So when we're thinking about what we're eating, we just want to eat, we want to eat in a very balanced way. And it doesn't really matter what diet you're following, whether you're a vegan or a vegetarian, or, people are eating paleo or following keto plans. Those things don't really matter so much as sticking with healthy food most of the time, because whatever we eat most of the time is what is going to have the biggest effect on our body. So sometimes people will follow diets for 30 days and expect the diet that they're following for 30 days to make an impact when they're when there's 30,000 days that they're living.
Right.
So it's whatever you're doing long term that is going to make the biggest impact on your body. So when we think about a diet, we don't need to artificially restrict certain foods. We just need to look at what foods are health promoting. So a lot of times the diets that people follow will demonize or make certain foods bad or negative foods, like, for instance, potatoes, when there's a lot of nutritional value in potatoes, and we don't need to necessarily limit
potatoes. I can have them back.
Yes, you can have them back. It's not necessary to, exclude certain foods from our diet. It just may be that we want to eat a lot of variety, and we want to make sure that we're eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and whole foods. But we don't have to put on certain foods that they're not health promoting, in that way. I think that can be dangerous for people. And it also makes it very difficult to stick to long term. And as I just said, what you do in 30 days when you're living 30,000 days is not going to make a big difference. You have to be doing something ongoing for a long period of time. And that's what makes the real difference. So let's not make it harder on ourselves by telling us we can't have potatoes, and just eat a wide variety of healthy foods.
And in smaller portions, right? I think that's kind of a key also, smaller portions. Well, let's go ahead and bring Steve back in with us and see what day it is in the calendar.
Hi, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I loved your birthday person. She's great.
Oh, yeah.
103?
I know. So Loyola made a run to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament a few years ago.
Yeah, that's why it's stuck, right? Yeah.
So, and she had a quote that I loved. It was, they asked her about longevity, and she said, "It's better to wear out than rust out."
I love that. Let me see. I think I've got some more pictures of her too. We've got, this one's pretty great. This one's great. So, yeah, Sister Jean, I mean, just amazing. Thank you for all of your prayers and the things that you do for the students. And I know that there's a lot of reciprocity there that makes you feel just as good to support the students as they feel supported by you. So that's a lesson for all of us, right? You get what you give.
She said it really well in what you wrote that she said, where she was eating right, but not, she still eats pastries. She was sleeping well. It doesn't seem like she puts a lot of stress on herself. That's all really key for longevity. So
it really is. And she's, I'm sure, lives a very simple, she probably doesn't eat 10 pieces of bacon at breakfast. She just has 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's so great. I just love it. And let's see. So what day of the week is it today? Is it some kind of like National Pancake Day or something like that?
It said it was sponge cake day.
It's National
Is that the
Dog
right
Day.
day? It's National Dog Day. So let me see. We've got to
And it's
move it
National
forward
Women's
here.
Equality Day.
Charlie.
See, Charlie's going to theme the day.
Charlie's gonna go.
It is National Dog Day. So celebrate your dogs. Have fun. Call us if you want the perk. That's 626-359-0108. And let's see if Linda's still back on with
It's
us.
also National Cherry Popsicle Day.
Uh-oh. What else?
And National Women's Equality Day.
Oh, National Women's Equality
those in
Day.
mind.
I think Linda probably likes that.
Awesome.
As far as
Yeah. And the
leveling
dog
the-
day. We bring our dog into the office. The clients love her. She's so calming, and
Oh,
I'm
sure.
all for sponge cake, and I love Sister Jean and her pastry. So
Right?
So it's a great day.
yeah.
How any fun plans for anyone this weekend?
My husband has casino night with his job tonight. So I think we're going to casino night, which sounds super fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time. All right. Well, and my daughter just turned 30, so we're having a little party for her this weekend.
That's such a big
Victoria,
birthday.
happy birthday to you. And her daughter just started TK this week. So it was a big deal this week.
Wow.
Right.
Lots of nice little celebrations. So thank you, my friends, for being on. I really appreciate your time and all of your expertise and knowledge. It's helping others, so I really appreciate it. So
Thank you,
have
Mary.
a fantastic weekend.
You too. Bye-bye, everybody.
To be safe. Bye.
Bye.